we just want to do a few housekeeping things before we get into our speakers today. So I will try to be brief and give them as much time as possible. Women's Council, applications for the Women's Council Scholarship can be found on the website, iowicityhomes.com, or emailing or talking to Carol or Michelle. The deadline is tomorrow, so not a lot of time to get that out. Vocational Training Council, we've got a lot going on here, and thank you to everybody who's helped, but we'll give you an update. We have some student-built sheds that are being built by City High, Liberty High School in Iowa City, as well as Kirkwood Regional Center down in Washington. I know Aaron's on here, and then Corvallis Regional Center with Chris Caldwell. So thank you to Alexander Lumber, Beisler Engineer Building Design, Gilchrist Jewett, Lowe's, Menards, and Suburban Lumber. So lots of people helping with that. That's awesome. And then a partner project with that is the City of Iowa City's a student remodel over on Taylor that we're really excited about. It's moving right along. So I know Tim's here. Be sure to make sure we don't get any stop work orders, and thank everybody for progress over there. That will be on our remodelers parade. So we're students are working hard on that. And then we also received a matching grant from the state of Iowa for our Vocational Training Council to outfit our mobile construction lab. And the concept there is have enough tools and equipment for 20 kids at a time to be hands-on, actively doing a construction task. So something we kind of picked up on the first, one of the early student builds, that, hey, if we only have 2 hammers and 20 kids, it's kind of not great progress and hands-on. So super excited for that. And when we get that outfitted, we got tools ordered, that will be serving all of the high schools in our area. So we've got Johnson, Washington, Cedar, and Iowa County. So there's a lot of kids that we're going to help with that. So we're very excited for that too. And there'll be a lot coming in the builders news about that. So I think I quickly covered all of that. Feel free to, like I said, read the builders news or reach out if you have any questions. And again, a sincere thank you to everybody who's helping make that possible. So I'm going to introduce the officials today. We have actually Sandy with MMS Consultants is going to be presenting for the city of Solon. I'm going to let her go first if you're ready, Sandy.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks, GT. Yeah. So just a correction, we're going to be talking about Solon fringe area, and I'll explain to you what that fringe area is in a second here, but let me share my screen. And okay, so can everybody see that orange screen? Yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to talk about the Solon fringe area. MMS is working on quite a few developments in this area. Not all of them I can talk about, but 2 of them I can. So just to kind of give everybody a brief update of what the fringe area agreement, this is a map that Josh probably drew up back in, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. This is the fringe area. And when we say fringe area, we mean 2 miles outside of the city limits. So the 2 developments that I'm going to be talking about today are within those Solon fringe areas. And specifically that little star that just showed up, that is where we're at. So we're south of Solon, just 2 miles. And if you're familiar, we're off of Highway 1 on Dillon's Furrow Road. It just so happens that the 2 developments are right across the street from each other. The first one that I'm going to talk to you about is Harper's Hollow. This is a development by Nick Heeman, and there you can see it, what it could potentially look like at full build out. It's 4 residential lots, about 1 acre or more in size. We've got a shared private road, and this final plat just got approved this morning. So, yeah. So as I was saying, we've got 4 residential lots, a private drive that can be stubbed in for development off to the west. There's the lots right there. And we are within Solon School District. We've got 1 pond that we use for storm water, which it's going to be a wet bottom pond, so not just a mud puddle. And individual private septics, there is one shared well there. And we're just a little bit short of 2 miles south of the city of Solon. So that's an idea of what one of the lots, you can pick whatever kind of house you want to put on it. But this was just one. Obviously, when we're out in the county, we have more space. So those big gardens and outbuildings, I know that's been a thing since COVID started, is having that accessory building. That's very popular. I think that's kept a lot of people from getting divorces, what I've heard. So, but I am going to show you a video now of what Harper's looks like. So that was Harper's Hollow. The developer had us make that video for him, and those videos help us with, obviously Josh understands when he's looking at a preliminary plat what it's going to look like, but sometimes the Board of Supervisors or City Council, we are within the fringe area, so Solon City Council had to see this or got to approve this as well. Sometimes they don't understand when they were looking at a preliminary plat and there's just a bunch of squiggle lines. This kind of helps us convey what it's going to look like when it's done. Coincidentally, we did put this on social media on a Thursday at 3:30, and 3 of the lots were spoken for by Sunday night, so pre-sold. So there is a demand for lots in the county, which is good. That's good for MMS, and it's good for Josh and the guys up there, so they have something to do. But the next development that I'm going to talk to you is just across the road, and that's Spartan Hollow. Spartan Hollow was also by the same developer, Nick Heeman. And this is the largest county subdivision that's been done since Westcott Heights. Westcott Heights is up on Prairie du Chien Road, and that was done about 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. So here it is. At full build out, it'll be 52, give or take, 52 lots. We got a couple ponds there. We're accessing twice off of Dillonsboro Road. We are in road negotiations with the county right now. That road negotiation is sitting on Ryan Moss's desk, and Josh is going to push him to get that done and reviewed. But so in regards to Solon, you can see that aerial off to on the left-hand side of your screen. And the star is kind of shows where Spartan Hollow is. So we are going to phase this subdivision out. It's going to be 2 phases. The first phase will be roughly 32 lots. The developer wanted us to show walking trails, and there are easements for walking trails throughout the subdivision. And I pushed hard on the engineers to design stormwater ponds that aren't square or rectangles, because they're engineers and they like to do that. But we do have some walkout lots, and we did something a little bit different on this development. We did what we're calling a rural pocket neighborhood. So we're going to try it. We're going to see what the market does. Hopefully we'll see if they're successful and they sell. But these are smaller lots, 1/3 of an acre. If you want to live out in the country, you want that space, but maybe you don't want to take care of 1 acre, or you can't afford 1 acre. These are smaller lots, and the beauty about the roads in the county and the houses in the county, it doesn't matter which way you orient your house. So we kind of created this marginal access road, that this right here. So only 6 houses can access off of this for the ordinance. So only 6 of these houses are going to be able to have their garages off of this road, but we'll see what it works. It's kind of like a rural version of an alley. Hopefully it's successful. And we're working through this preliminary plat right now. But here for the first time is the video of what Spartan Hollow is hopefully going to look like when it's built out. There you go. And then I've just got one more slide to go through. And I do have to give props to Josh on this one, because a couple months ago he was on the phone with us and he mentioned, he was like, what's the tax revenue off of this? So I had I spent about a day last fall just going through and several phone calls with Mark Kistler to learn how we actually break down taxes. So the economic development that's going to be spurred from this is pretty great. Of course, I don't know what the current real estate market, it might actually be even better. But 1 lot off of Spartan Hollow is going to produce taxable revenue. We're going to get about $7,800 in tax revenue per lot on average. That obviously gets filtered out into the community. Right now, it's only producing about $1,600 a year in taxes. At full build out, Spartan Hollow, which is 52 lots, give or take, is going to produce about just short of $500,000 every year. And that'll only go up with inflation. 237,000 of that goes right to Solon School District. Kirkwood Community College, 18,000. And the HBA, of course, is huge fans of both, but particularly Kirkwood. So it is important that we keep building houses out in the county and building houses elsewhere, because it's the only way we can really open up the existing housing stock, which is, I would say, quote unquote, the more affordable housing stock. And if we stop building new houses, yeah, nobody's going to give up them old houses. So anyways, that's all I have to talk about today, and I'll pass it on to someone else.
Sandy, I had a quick question for you,
Sure.
if that's okay. First off, it's really interesting to that was nice to see, but can you give us a sense, since you're on kind of a different side of the equation than a lot of the presenters, how long this process took for the developer to kind of go from a concept to where they can break ground and start selling lots?
That's a really good question. We started on Harper's Hollow because they had to go through a land use. 2019, it was June of 2019. I know that because it was right before my dad died. And we just got the final plat approved this morning. So it's, April 2021. That was on a 4-lot subdivision. Spartan Hollow, we started that very shortly. Actually, we started that land use. That's when we started the land use for Spartan Hollow was June of that year, was 2019. And we submitted the preliminary plat, and it's kind of sitting in purgatory with the road agreement. So I'm hoping to get that road agreement back sooner. And just so you guys all know, Dillon's Furrow is going to be hard surface. It's gravel right now, and that's what this road negotiation is for. But I hope that we can start construction this summer. I really hope we can. Getting the preliminary plat, the infrastructure, and it'll probably be next winter before we file the final plat, and lots will be able to be sold maybe next spring. So about 2 years, 2-3 years.
Cool. Does anybody else have any questions for Sandy? All right, thank you very much. That was a great presentation. We're going to move screen share privileges to Josh Busard with the Johnson County. He's the director of the Johnson County Planning, Development, and Sustainability Department. Thank you for joining us, Josh.
Thank you. So can everybody see? I don't want to stop share that. How about we'll share the right there. Okay. Okay, because everybody see a PowerPoint or a PDF presentation? All right, great. So, hey, thanks, Sandy, for presenting that. You kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, but that's okay. And here at the planning department, we like to, instead of Harper's Hollow and Spartan Hollow, we refer to them as Baby Hollow and Daddy Hollow. So, anyways, we are, when everybody know that we are diligently working towards trying to move those projects forward, especially Spartan Hollow. It is a very, very complex project. I know that the Board of Supervisors indicated in a work session several weeks ago that they do want to work with Mr. Heeman in a cost share agreement to upgrade Dillon's Furrow Road, which is currently a gravel road, and bring it to a chip sealed surface. The road is to be widened. It'll be a macadam bay. So not only will it be widened, it'll have the chip seal surface, but also it'll be ready if it ever is to be paved in the future. So if development ever takes off, so if we have Harper's Hollow, Spartan Hollow, and if development continues to move forward in one of the county's growth areas, eventually that road may need to be paved, and it'll be ready for that. So, but that is in the future, but I will talk to you more so the now. So this last year, from March 2020 to now, I thought when COVID hit, I thought, hey, things are just going to grind to a halt, and that's that. I'm sure several of you guys did. Didn't happen. We had one of the busiest years that we've had in the last decade, at least. And we really, we only keep data for 10 years at a time. So we need to say we have been very busy. We are very thankful for that. Lots of building permits and lots of development has been happening. So, so it says 2020. We have 89 total residential lots that were created. We have 130 more that are in progress. That's really great for the county. We have, I'll talk about these developments. Troyer's Meadow, this is in the village of Frighttown. Sandy already talked about Spartan Hollow. We'll talk about Carson Subdivision, which is a new development that is coming our way. Joko 50, it's a 9-lot commercial subdivision. Forgot a, close that up. We have 218 commercial subdivision. It's a 65-acre commercial subdivision just outside Iowa City. They've done, I believe, preliminary platted 4 lots so far, but they are set to do many, many more. And then we've had 23 rezonings on 360 acres and rezoning property. That is the first step in development. So the next slide. So Troyer Meadows is just on the southeast side of the bustling village of Frighttown. So if you guys are not familiar where Frighttown is, take Highway 1, and then you'll run into Angle Road, where Highway 1 basically heads south into Kelowna. You'll run into Frighttown, and this you'll find a 31 buildable lot subdivision. We are just getting ready to go to the final plat stage. So in county parlance, that means that the roads are being construction, stormwater is getting completed, erosion control is there. They are getting ready to wrap it up, and they're going to sell lots. So unlike the city, where you can preliminary plat and then basically final plat and then build your infrastructure afterwards, because in Johnson County, because most roads are privately maintained, as in we're not going to take on new roads. In order to have a final plat approved, you need to complete that infrastructure first or enter into a performance agreement to complete that infrastructure. So anyway, so 31 lots, Troyer's Meadow. We're working towards final plat approval, and those lots range in size from 0.24 to 1.36 acres. So in fact, about 18 months ago, we redid our Unified Development Ordinance, and we put a limitation on the lot size of lots in the residential zoning district. So in Johnson County, if you are zoned residentially, you cannot have a lot that is greater than 1.99 acres. And I really feel that that is what people in this current housing market are looking for. And a lot of times you're, well, I'm moving out to the country, I want 3 and 5 acres. Not always the case. In fact, it's, I'd probably say that is more oftentimes than not, it's, we're seeing these smaller lots. And historically, if you think about it, Westcott Heights, most of those lots are 1.5 acres or less. Many of those are trending under 1 acre. You go out those old lots off of Mahaffey Bridge Road on the east side. You go out to west of Solon, out by McBride Golf Course. All those lots are certainly under 1 acre. Longview Estates, which is a newer, I think there's probably like 40 some lots there. That subdivision is fully built out, and those lots, most of those lots are under 1/2 acre. So there is definitely a market for smaller lots in the unincorporated area. That's not to say that there's not a market for some larger lots, and we have a way to allow those through our zoning code. Those larger lots to support those homes that, you guys all love to build, that are going for $1 million+ dollars. But I certainly feel that one of the best ways to have affordable housing and to construct more rooftops is to have smaller lots. Anyways, we'll move forward. Spartan Hollow, Sandy, you pretty much covered that one right there. 51 lots. We are in the beginning stages of figuring out how to plat that development. Carson subdivision. So this one is going to be a hot topic sooner than later. So you can see here, it's right on the edge of Iowa City. If you haven't read the newspaper, know that this Iowa City, the city council recently said that they did not want to annex this property, despite this property being in their growth area. So the applicant has came to Johnson County, being that their land is residentially zoned, and they have recently made a request to develop, and they are wanting to do 38 buildable lots on a total of 110 acres. The lots are going to range in size from 1 acre to just over 1.5 acres. The average lot size is going to be 1.19 acres. And the majority of this subdivision is going to most likely, it's going to be outlots for environmental preservation or outlots for future development. They could come back and subdivide and create more lots in the future. So that's Carson Farms. That one should be pretty interesting as we move through the process and working through Iowa City per the our agreements that we have with them. Oops, a little fast there. Okay, so Joko 50. This is a commercial development just north of Swisher, west of Shueyville on Highway 965, almost to Cedar Rapids. This is going to be a 9 buildable lot commercial subdivision. So there has been lots of interest. Realtors call us almost every day about this one. They are seeking preliminary plat approval. This is going to be a good one. Lots are going to range in size from 2 acres to just over 19 acres. And I don't really know that many specifics, but from what I understand, several of these lots are already spoken for. So I think we're going to see some development pretty quickly out here. This is 218 Commercial Park Subdivision, also known as, I guess, as the Moyna development. So it is also adjacent to Iowa City. Iowa City indicated that they don't have any desire to annex it. So the applicant, the landowners, they came to us and they wanted to develop in the county, and we are accommodating them. So you can see here that they are doing 5 commercial lots for right now. But you see this future, it's outlot A for future development because it's 28 acres. You got this lot here for future development, and some other outlots that are set aside. So I think they're going to do 5 lots now, but they're making some significant infrastructure investments. And I think that we can expect to see more lots in the future. And if you drive by this area, you'll probably remember that there used to be a, if you were coming off the exit from Highway 218 to get on Riverside Drive right here. And as you're just going to pass Crest Hill Road, you probably remember that there was a big hill here that's gone now. They have totally, completely leveled that area. So it's kind of cool to see. And then we have as in K subdivision. This is on Highway 965 as well, just a little bit south of Swisher. This is a little bit smaller, and that is the wrong picture. That's back to 218 commercial subdivision. But anyways, so it's going to be 3 buildable lots, and that one is getting built out really quick. I'm the developers wanting to build commercial condos there, and that has received full final plat approval. So any questions? And I also want to point out that we have a variety of other smaller subdivisions for residential lots, but you know, those aren't really too interesting, so we're not going to talk about them.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Josh?
Actually, I do. Hey, Josh, do you know when they're gonna update the line work to show 218 commercial on the GIS, on the PIV?
When they final plat it,
Okay.
it'll be a while.
All right. Anybody else? If not, thank you, Josh. Looks like there's quite a bit going on in the county, and thank you for the presentation. We're going to move over to the city of Tiffin. Brian Shay, building and zoning official, is going to talk to us. I assume like 3 more buildings went up since we started at 4 o'clock. So see if you can stay with us, Brian.
Yep. So Carol's going to help me here because I'm having some technical difficulties. Yeah, I'll go through just some of these developments I've talked about in the past last year, or actually, I guess last year I don't think we met, so maybe previous years, and we've actually got some construction going on because the city of Tiffin, unlike some of the other communities, we require all the infrastructure to be in before we final plat, so before anything can be built. So we hear all the time, but the reality is our approval process can be longer than other communities that allow you to preliminary and final plat and sell lots before the infrastructure is in. So we do have the last calendar year, I don't know, with COVID, and I think previous 3 years, we had a lot of rezoning, annexation, rezoning, preliminary and final platting that we kind of had the inventory was getting up there for residential and commercial lots, and for a community our size, we were growing. But so really the last year, as far as planning and zoning and developments, new developments coming to town, or talk of new developments, we really haven't had a lot. So I'll go over, just hit a few key different subdivisions, a couple private subdivisions, a couple subdivisions that are in the planning process still and platting process. So we'll start with Astor Village, and this is multifamily development off of Park Road, which is just east or just west of Interstate 380 on Forever Green Road, exit ramp there. There's a picture of the first 36 unit building. I think is just completed. They're just starting to get the landscaping and some of the outside stuff done. And this week they're going to start on the foundation for the second 36 plex. So this is 216 total condo units that I believe as of right now, the developer's saying these are all going to be rentals. And I think they had maybe were going to hold off till next year on building the second building, but I think that they're getting close to capacity. So, that's a good thing for them. So yeah, we're excited to, kind of get our first building in Park Place going. It's been a Park Place, City Center, Astor Village, that, the commercial development area along Park Road has kind of been the center of our, development for the last 4 or 5 years. And so it's nice to see some buildings getting completed and some other bigger commercial buildings starting to go vertical. Next project I'm going to talk about is just a residential townhouse project. Currently, there are 6 buildings on the left side of the plat. There's 6 buildings that are either completed or under construction currently, and yeah, I think these have pretty much been selling as fast as the builder and developer can build them. So yeah, this entire subdivision, I think I talked about, we had just accepted the final plat at the last meeting that I spoke at, and I think there's 5 or 6 lots left to be built on, and I believe most of those are spoken for. So yeah, this Prairie Village residential is 40-acre subdivision that filled up in will be less than 2 years. So yeah, it's been good for builders, developers, and good for the city. Next project I'll talk about is Hunt Club. This is 223 total townhouse units. It's just off of Village Drive, which would be Interstate 80 exit, like come and go as you're coming into town. Currently, I think that this picture shows, I think there's 60 units complete. Today, we actually just issued 23 additional permits. So phases 1 and 2, the developer, which High Development, is looking to be completed by the end of the summer. So yeah, I think about 10 months ago, we issued the first permit for this project. So it's moving along pretty good here. And they're having some success. I think this is another project that I think through some grants and some other assistance that they're trying to keep. These are going to be rental properties, all of them, and I think they're trying to keep them as affordable as they can. Next project we'll talk about is this is the first building, so the New Yorker in Park Place City Center. It's 87 residential units. And so the 87 residential units in phases 1 and 2, and then underground parking and 1 level of commercial. I think 4 or 5 months ago, it was announced that iGym was going to take 10,000 square feet of the main level. So yeah, this picture right here is just from a couple days ago. They started setting precast on the precast over the underground parking and setting the first floor. So yeah, this is pretty exciting for the city of Tiffin. It's not very often that a community of 4,500 to 5,000, not too many communities like that have, are getting buildings this size. So yeah, we're excited about the growth in this area. It's been, again, this Park Place City Center has been about 4 or 5 years, in the making, getting the infrastructure in, making sure that we have the roads in place ahead of time to account for the future growth. We're not having to do, tearing up the brand new roads. So we made sure we're getting controlled intersections, turning lanes. Again, I think as far as commercial growth wise, this is going to be the big one and for us as a city for, I think the next 5 to 10 years, this area. Next, I'll talk about a public project. I think that I had mentioned, we were just in the planning phases of it at the last time I presented, but I think we just closed this project out at last city council meeting. So we have our roundabout is complete, and this is on Highway 6 and Park Road. And this has been, since the completion of this, it's been amazing for traffic flow. The school, Clear Creek Amana School District has an elementary school and an intermediate school directly north of this intersection. And so during construction, there were some, it was some tough times. And then prior to construction, it was, this was a really busy area. And this morning, or every morning, we had Johnson County, most mornings had patrol sitting there just to kind of make sure that all of the traffic, they were able to get along and get through there. And but now that we have this project done, I believe it's helped a great deal. And I think this is going to be, currently right now we have some temporary street lights on the west end of town, just past the high school. And those are temporary. One of two reasons: we couldn't get county approval to put permanent lights up there. And then also we really wanted, as a city staff and our city council, wanted to see how this, how the community reacted and how the roundabout at the east end of town functioned and worked, and potentially we'll look at in the future off of Highway 6 in Deerview. There's a potential that could, rather than being a controlled intersection with stoplights, that we would do a roundabout there. Still not totally sure on that, but potential for that in the future. Next project I'll talk about, we're just getting ready to start phase 2 of the original town urbanization. So as part of this, replacing water lines if needed, replacing sewer line, updating sewer lines, private lines and mains. All the utilities are going underground, and we're curb and gutter 2-foot concrete section, and then we're doing blacktop roadways. So phase 2 is just getting started right now. Some of the underground utility work is done. So yeah, phase 1 took a little bit longer than expected. There's some hiccups. I think we, as a city, and we learned a lot from that, and what to do, what not to do. And we, a lot of, there were a lot of abandoned utilities, and utilities that hadn't been abandoned that were unknown, and that we kind of found. So yeah, this is phase 2 is going on right now, and we hope by the end of next year that we have phase 3 at least started. So yeah, the city of Tiffin has put a significant investment in updating the original town. The next subdivision I'll talk about, Madden Edition. This preliminary plat has been approved. This subdivision would be just, if you're familiar with Tiffin, it would be just south of Belisala, and just east of Hickory Knoll subdivision. This is 36 single family lots and 18 duplex lots. The 18 duplex lots are lots 1 through 18. And then the rest of them be single family. And then lot 55 it's zoned R2, but it's an outlot. And the developer at this time is just, maybe in the future, he'll come and do a planned area development there, private streets and some duplexes or townhouses or something like that. But right now it'll be just platted as a single lot, for future development. I think I haven't been out there this week, but I think they're putting sewer and water in, getting the mass grading done. I think that the developer anticipates having lots ready for sale in the fall. So yeah, I think 5 years ago, we had preliminary and final platted, we had 336 single family lots. And right now we have about final platted. So built actual lots that could be built on right now, we're under 100. And that's roughly about a year and a half worth of inventory right now at our kind of our 3-year rolling average. So to add these 36 lots, that gets us another 6 months of inventory. And then there are some talks of some other annexation in the coming months, and some other residential subdivisions coming online. So yeah, we're excited about this subdivision. But this is really, in the last 12 months, the only preliminary plat for a residential subdivision that we've that the city's approved. Next, I'll talk about Ridgeway Heights. Phase 1 of this subdivision, I think we accepted the final plat 12 months ago, and it's almost completely built out. Next Tuesday, City Council, I'm anticipating that they're going to accept the final plat for phase 2, which would be lots 59, well, 47 through 59 and 41 through 60. All but 4 of these are single family, and then lots 55 through 59 are R2 attached single family. So I've kind of heard that most of these lots are already spoken for. So yeah, again, we're 5 years ago there was a lot of talk that we were moving too fast, and that the city of Tiffin was approving too much residential, whether it was single family or attached single family. And we just didn't need it, and it just wasn't necessary. And now here we are, move forward just a couple of years, and we actually have a shortage at this point, unless we see a significant uptick in development, land acquisition and development. Some of the low density residential will slow way down just due to lack of lot inventory. That's really all I have for you guys. You guys have any questions, comments?
All right. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Ball with the city of Kelowna is unable to make it today, so hopefully we'll move him to a different one. I want to thank Josh, Sandy, and Brian, and then our previous presenters at the last meeting. I said it last month, but I really enjoy seeing this stuff, and I think as president this year, I'm seeing the value of the partnership that both the municipalities and government agencies and our members have, and hoping that our county continues to grow. So thank you very much for making time, and we appreciate the partnership. We're gonna move on quickly here. Next month, we've got an in-person event, believe it or not, scheduled for May 13th from 6 to 8 at Gilchrist Jewett. They are the food and beverage sponsor. It's free to our members. So we'll be doing the safe thing, as everyone knows well, but pretty excited for that. So that's a great sign. And then May is also our membership drive month. We are looking for one person left to captain. We're going to have 4 teams. Adam Hahn with Watts Group, Kevin McCready with McCready Ruth Construction, myself are all going to do one. And then Art will, I think, have his arm twisted if no one else steps up. So feel free to do that. There's some prizes, giveaways and stuff, but I think we'll make it fairly painless if anyone wants to step up. And we're also asking our members to try and reach out, make an effort in May, and see if you can get one more member. As a local, we're doing a lot of great things. And I think that we certainly have a lot of value in our membership. So see what you can do to talk somebody into becoming a member, and maybe coming even to the May or June meeting. So yeah, Parade of Homes is in June. So we have our 54th annual Parade of Homes and our 24th annual Remodelers Parade, June 12th, 13th, 15th, 17th, 19th, and 20th. The 19th and 20th, the second weekend, is the Remodelers Parade. June 11th will be the awards breakfast, sponsored by CBI Bank and Trust. Urban Acres Real Estate and Hills Bank are the corporate sponsors, and Hills Bank is hosting a cocktail hour at the end of the member-only tour at Tin Roost in North Liberty. There's also opportunities to sponsor. If anyone wants to reach out to Carol and Michelle to get involved, that would be great. And then finally, we have a certified aging in place and universal design course. Couple dates. I think there's 3 or 4 dates throughout the summer that we're going to be offering this. I did the CAPS 1, 2, and 3, and I know we've got some people on here who have done that. I was telling Carol earlier today, I use that at least weekly. It's very valuable. So consider, starting that process or seeing if you can do that. Reach out to Carol or Michelle for that as well. So I promised we'd be done before 5. We've done it. Thanks again to all of our members that showed up, and especially